Hi traders. So I thought I would do this video as a sort of get started guide for people that are new to the Discord, that aren't familiar with anything to do with order flow, that have come from a retail or smart money background, don't know what these are really, haven't got a clue what's going on. Whether you're using my charts yet or not, you can still be in the Discord looking at the live stream where you'll be seeing these charts, and you might be scratching your head thinking, well, why is that line highlighted, for example? Well, what the idea is this video is that I'm going to give you a quick guide or walk over so you can sort of at least start to get a gist straight away of what's what. Obviously, you'll need to go through all the educational content I've put in the Discord, but this might help you on a more interactive scale. So what we do is we've got two profile types. So we've got this one here. Okay, that's called the market profile, or TPO, time price opportunity. That's time based. So this prints and shows where most time has took place at a specific price point. Okay, this profile is a volume profile. Okay, so this shows where most volume has took place at a specific price point. So time, volume. I personally like the market profile, the time one more, if I'm being honest, but I do find the volume is very beneficial too. But anyway, I'm going to try and keep this basic. So within the time-based profile, the market profile, I've opened this profile out, so this is what's going on here. Each one of these lines you see printing is a 30-minute time period. This is industry standard. Okay, so it's like, this is like looking at a 30-minute candlestick chart. That's the best way to describe it. So every 30 minutes, you see it prints. And then when the 30 minutes is up, another one prints. So that's what that is. Just delete this stuff. Right, so within the market profile, you have something called a point of control. Let's take this profile because this is easier for you to see. Now, the point of control is where most time spent at a specific price point within that day. So within this time period of a whole day, price spent most time here, right? And therefore it prints a red line. Okay, that's called the point of control. Point of controls are good for taking profits. If you're in a trade, you could look to take profits around the point of control area, or when price gets to a point of control, you can look at other charts, other order flow tools, and look for an opportunity to take a trade. I mean, if I open this out, this is a great example. So this profile now is opened out. So this is all what happened within this profile. You can see we opened here, which I'll get to this line in a minute. We auctioned up to this line. I'll talk about that in a minute. Rejected. Straight away, you're probably looking at these lines thinking, well, that doesn't look too hard. Things are happening around these lines. But anyway, this point of control, which is where time spent, when most of the time was spent at this price level, 21.50. When price opened the next day and traded up to it, you can see it then rejected and auctioned down for 21.50 to, let's just call it 20.80. So what's that? 70 pips that auctioned down from that point of control. Now, obviously, you would not just trade that because it's getting to this line. You would look at other charts and you'd build confluence, and you'd look at a footprint chart to see what's happening at this level with market transactions, and then you might be able to look towards taking a short position and getting involved there. So that's what a point of control is, okay? I hope this is helping. And I'm not just talking mumbo jumbo, so I'm quite good at that. So yeah, point of control. And while we're on the point of control, we'll look quite often the volume profile, which is this one, remember. The point of control is in roughly the same place as you'll find as where the market profile point of control is. But there are occasions where it's not. For example, here. So you can see on this profile, that's the point of control down the market profile, right? But on the volume profile, so although time at this price spent most of the time here, the volume, most tradable volume happened here, which is where the point of control is on the volume profile. And when price gets to that same principle, you can look to see if there's going to be any sort of reaction. Okay. I know it's probably quite confusing at the moment, but trust me, you will, when you start watching this every single day, start to understand it a lot better. Right, so that's the point of control covered. We'll now go on to what's called the value area high and value area low. So let's just unsplit this for you for a minute. Oh, hold on. Right. So now we're going to cover the value area high, value area low, which is what we did here. So you've got the point of control, which is where most tradable time took place in this profile. And then the value area is 70% either side, or yeah, within that profile, 70% of time that's spent within that area. So basically, the top line is a value area high. Sometimes we write it as VAH. So you know what that means now if you see it, me or Darren writing it ever or talking about it. And this one is a value area low, which is VAL. Yeah. So quite often, price, if it comes to the value area high, we can look to find opportunities to fade it back towards the point of control, or if it comes to the value area low, we can look for opportunities to go long and fade it back again towards the point of control, or again we have to use other confluences. Just because it's getting towards this area of a previous profile doesn't mean it's going to actually reverse. Or we can watch order flow, see if we get a breakout, and then we might retest an all option lower, or we might get a breakout of value, retest, auction higher. Now this is standard basic auction market theory. Obviously, in today's interactive volatile markets, it's never going to be as clear cut as that, but that's basic auction market theory. You might come here, build some value here, and then you could pop up, or you could build some value, pop down. Okay. But value areas, again, can provide trading opportunities. You can look at them as possible supply demand areas. That's the best way to think about that. We've then got this dotted line. This is called a single print. I love my single prints. I've coded it so that it shows them. Now, single print is when, can I open this market now? Sorry. Let's open this one up as well. Right. So this is a single print here. And basically, it's where the market found, in this instance, because the market's auctioned down, there's just a lack of interest from any buyers, and the market just zipped down, like you can see, with no form of like resistance, okay, from buyers. There's just nothing there. Now, the way I look at it is that when you see single prints like this, the way I interpret is that there's a higher time frame investor, a market maker that's moved the market. Yeah, so they've added orders here with the intention to move a market towards their, you know, their goal, their target, whatever they want to achieve. So when price, and it prints a single print, which is shown here, right? So when price comes back to that single print area, these market makers, higher time frame investors, could be looking, because they've got orders here, to defend their position and add to their orders to move the market again if I haven't finished transacting all their business. So you can see here single print, right? You can see the next day price opened at value area low. We came back up to the single print, and look, straight away market moved back down for let's call that 2130. Let's call that, let's just call it 2085. So what's that, 45 pips or something? So there's a 45 pip move there. We could have grabbed some of that if we use other confluences such as footprint and that. I have to keep stating that you just can't really trade these levels blind. Well, you can, but you'd be crazy when we've got other tools that can help us make better informed decisions. So that's what a single print is. When it comes back up to it in the future, we can look for possible trading opportunities. Okay, so that's all I'm using these charts for, is basically a bit of a roadmap. So we know the point of control could provide trading opportunities. The single print could provide trading opportunities. Previous value area lows, value area highs could provide trading opportunities. Now, there are other things I can talk about, which are edges and ledges and things like that, but I think I'll leave that for another video, because already you're probably thinking, oh my God, what an overwhelming experience I'm getting watching this video that Mr. Benecke's doing. I'm already lost. So we won't talk about value, we won't talk about edges or ledges and things like that, or volume nodes. We'll just keep it basic for this one. So that's the daily chart, okay? So we basically got point of control, single prints, value area highs, value area lows, okay? There is one extra thing I might talk about in here, actually. See if I can find an example. Well, there's an example there, actually, straight away. Not what I was going to show you, but value area low, how price. Sorry, it's because I'm using this Epic pen thing. And right, so we auctioned down to the value area low and rejected, as you can see. So there's a trading opportunity from there. So that's an example of how you can use value areas. Again, here, auction down to this value area low, and then market rallied. In fact, that's quite a good example for me to also use. Right, so this is another example. So you heard me talking about single prints, right? Which I think I use this as an example, how a price can react when it comes back up to it, up here, see? Well, also this, when you get a tail like this, so a long tail printed at the end, either end of a profile, we can think of that exactly the same principle as a single print area, okay? So this is called excess, or in this case, it's a responsive buying tail. If it was in the opposite direction, it'd be a responsive selling tail. So in some instances, when price comes back to this area, because it's like a single print, what do we know single prints? How do we, the easy way that I describe it as higher time frame investors or market makers becoming active in the auction and making transactions. So when it comes back to that area, we can look to see if there's a trading opportunity around there. Okay, so that's what that is, excess. Okay, so I think we'll leave it at that for this profile. So obviously point of control, value area high, value area low, single prints, and choose that one, excess. And another great example here, although price hasn't reached this area yet, excess. Okay, so that's the daily profile, right? We'll now go to so again, this is another profile. But this is what I call my custom morning profile, which is between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. So we can look, so we can use the daily profile, which we just looked at, to build a bigger picture of where there's levels. And then we can do like a, you can, I suppose you'd call it a top-down analysis. So between 7 and 12, we can look also inside that bigger daily profile into the previous day's mornings profiles, if you understand. So we had the daily profile and then the morning profile. And for example, and the same principle applies. So in the mornings, I quite often get on the chart, say 6:30, knowing that this chart will start printing data at 7 a.m. And I can start looking at previous days and seeing where price is likely to open and where levels are for us to possibly use for trading opportunities. So in this instance, we can see we opened at 7 a.m. here and we came down to this value area low, found some buyers. We could have got long for a few pips, okay? We then market auction back down, took the liquidity, what was lying below here, and by looks of it, that was lying below yesterday's Frankfurt or yesterday's morning chart, swept the liquidity, and then you can see we've got the big move up to what looks like to me currently the value area low of the day before, which is where we found some resistance. Do you see? So you could have possibly looked at order flow, maybe got a trade in for 40 to 25, 15 pips or something. There might have been an opportunity there. So that's how we basically use the morning chart. And I only look at the morning chart between 7 a.m. and midday. Okay. I then switch, and it's the same principle as using the levels. You just look for levels where you could, excuse me, possibly trade from. And you build in confluence, because if, for example, let's say this value area low matched up with on the daily a value area low or a point of control on the daily chart, you're obviously adding more confluence, building a stronger foundation for a possible trade opportunity. So just trying to build confluences. But every day, the charts do react from a level. Every single day. So there's always a trading opportunity. You just need to, when price gets to those levels, as traders, we need to validate them. Do you see what I mean? Straight away. Hopefully you're having a bit of like a aha moment. And like, the light bulb's starting to spring a bit. I'm starting to understand that it's not really as complicated as what it first seems. Right, so that's the morning chart. So we covered the daily in the morning. We're now going to go to the afternoon chart. And again, the same principle applies. But I use the afternoon chart from it starts printing data, the profile from midday until 10 p.m. So about 11:30, I would be looking, drawing up this chart, pulling it up to see where price is likely to open from the previous day's levels. See if there's anything of any interest for me. And obviously, we've got levels again to key off. Now, as you know, and I'll just drum it into you again. I mean, I'm sure you'll probably just bang your head against the wall now going, I know what that is. I know what that is. But obviously, red line, market profile, point of control, value area lows there, but the highs here. Pretty straightforward. Dotted lines, single prints. So let's straight away, you can see again levels, how powerful. So this is, I'd be looking at this from about midday to see if there's opportunities through to 10 o'clock to trade off any of the levels. Again, we'd use other confluences, but straight away, just looking at the charts, you can see there's always, every single day, going to be a great opportunity. We'll start here. Could have faded there, here, value area high. Here, it reacted from value area low down to this point of control here, here. And it might have gone to roughly almost, well, it might have been that volume node there. It reacted either that volume node or that value area low there. Can you see, start to see a little bit how accurate these charts are? Single print fill down to the value area low. Point of control. I might merge these two, but I won't talk about that to find the level for that. But we won't talk about that. Point of control. Down to point of control. From the high, we filled the single print and reacted from this value area here. Point of control, value area low, value area low. This one zipped up here to this point of control. That was a news release. So let's open this one so I can just demonstrate something to you. I remember this because I saw this. This was Great British Pound News, I think. Bank of England did a press release or something on rates. So as you can see, news pumped price up. The banks used the news as an excuse to pump price up. But look where it finished. Exactly to this point of control here, to the pit. See? And then the market just plummeted. It sold off. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. Let me just make this bigger. Here it was, sorry. So 12 o'clock, which is when the BOE released their news, market zipped up to the point of control. And then price just plummeted down. But you can see the power of the levels. They're just crazy. And then obviously this yesterday reacted from this value area high. And sorry, the day before yesterday acted from the value area high. And then yesterday we opened, auctioned on up to the single print and auctioned down lower. And today we're not opening for another hour. It's 11:04 as I'm doing this video, but price currently 21.34 is hovering around this area here. So come 12 o'clock, we could look to see if price is still around this area, if price could perhaps open, auction down a bit and go upwards, or if it's traded down, whether it auction up to this value area high and then auction downwards. So you can see, hopefully, or begin to see the power of these charts at specific times and what the levels all mean. So that's the daily and the two custom charts. The morning chart I look at between 7 and 12, and the afternoon chart I look at from 12 to 10. And also I must state as well, on these custom morning charts, I have them set up so that each one of these blocks, if you remember which I was talking about on the daily, was 30 minutes. These are just a few minutes long. These aren't 30 minutes, so these are a lot smaller. But that's how I have it set up as per my requirements. You can see yesterday how it respected that single print area. And we found sellers stepping back in again, defending their positions from the previous day, or adding to their positions even. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up, because I was going to go into talk about VWAP, but I might do this on a separate video, because I'm conscious that I've got talked way too much on this, and you're probably better off getting bite-sized chunks rather than me just go through the whole thing, grab it in, and then you're going to be completely lost by the end of it. So that's basically the daily and the morning and the afternoon chart covered, with a pointer controls, the value area highs, value area lows, single prints, and excess. All right. And that's the most important charts I look at for building confluence, and help me initially see what a trading position opportunity could present at a certain level. All right. So hope that's helped. And with all that said, I'm going to go and close this out, and I think I'm going to go and get a beer, actually. All right, nice one. Cheers, guys.